Hello, and welcome to Sharp Love Stories. Here we share powerful stories of love and the emotional journeys that lead to healing. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's explore the beauty and strength of human emotions together. Today is an important day. I am going to meet the parents of my boyfriend of 3 years. The company is on the right track. He has achieved success in his career, and I can hold my own. Therefore, we have started planning major life events. According to local customs, he should meet my parents first, but since his parents happen to be free these days, we hastily schedule the time. We brought many things with us, and his father, who opened the door, greeted us lightly. Seeing his father's demeanor, my smile froze. "Hello, uncle and auntie, I am Yao Yao." His mother came out of the kitchen and ignored me, speaking to Lucci. "Wash your hands, it's time to eat." Once seated at the table, I realized there was not a single dish I liked except for the shrimp. Lucci noticed as well, and as usual, after we sat down, he peeled shrimp for me. I ate one for each he peeled. While I was still eating, I suddenly heard a sharp clinking of glasses and looked up to see his mother glaring at the plate of shrimp as if she had a grudge against it. Realizing something was amiss, Lucy also noticed and hurriedly urged me to try other dishes. After dinner, Lucy asked me to help him wash the dishes. I hesitated at first, but then decided to go. Before I could sit down after washing the dishes, his mother said to Lucci, "You mentioned you plan to marry. There are some things I need to say up front. Your father and I have worked hard to build our life. Marriage is fine, but you must sign a prenuptial agreement stating that the income from your shares is your premarital property. Our family will provide an apartment for your marital home located in the city center. Your father and I bought it and never renovated it. You don't need to worry about the renovation. Just have her family cover the costs," she said, pointing at me. "Furthermore, I do not agree with your relationship, but since you insist, I'll set a condition. You two may have a wedding, but not register your marriage until you have a child," Lucci frowned. "Mom, let's not discuss the other issues now, but why wait to register our marriage until after having a child? Society is chaotic nowadays. What if you can't have children? If you think it's acceptable, we can arrange a meeting with Yao Yao's parents to discuss the wedding." Seeing my displeasure, Lucci tried to console me. "Yao Yao, my mother means well. As long as we love each other, everything else is secondary." I challenged him. "Is that so? Lucci, do you think the same? Your family contributes nothing, letting my family pay for the renovation while the house is still in your parents' names. Do you think I'm foolish, or my family is, and you want me to register the marriage after having a child? Are we living in the old society? Are you marrying me or my uterus? What a joke. Whoever wants to have children should go ahead." I turned to his mother and said, "Annie, do you think yours is the only wealthy family? Do you think everyone is after your money?" His mother scoffed. "It's hard to say in today's society. There are all sorts of people. Auntie, your son is quite good, and I know your family's situation. But did I beg to be with him? Initially, it was your son who desperately begged me to agree." I turned around to grab my bag and leave, but I couldn't hold back my anger. "Andy, do you think yours is the only wealthy family in the world and that everyone is eyeing your son and your property? Don't lose the watermelon while picking up sesame seeds." In a condescending tone, his mother said, "Some people, they complain about the grapes being sour when they can't have them." I laughed out of frustration. Seeing this, Lucci quickly held me back. "Yao Yao, my mother didn't mean it that way. Let's sit down and talk properly," I said to Lucci, word by word. "Do you think we can still talk properly now?" After saying that, I stormed out. At the elevator, I encountered Lucci's childhood sweetheart, Gu Qinglin, who, seeing Lucci and my unhappy expressions, said gleefully, "Brother Lucci, what's wrong with Sister Yao Yao again?" Annoyed, I glanced at her and entered the elevator. Lucci hurriedly greeted her. "Lin Lin is here. You go ahead, I'll be right there," I faintly heard his mother say. "Lin Lin, come in quickly. Lucci, you come in too." Lucci gave me a helpless look and said, "Yao Yao, I'll call you later," taking advantage of the moment I had already closed the elevator door. I knew his parents, especially his mother, disapproved of me because of Gu Qinglin. Lucci and she grew up together, their parents being business partners and childhood sweethearts. Hence, both sets of parents hoped they would be together and actively tried to make it happen. However, it turned out that the girl was willing, but the boy was heartless. Just after I got home, I received a call from Lucci. Yao Yao, my mother speaks harshly. Don't take it to heart, but she means no harm, Lucci said. Lucci, do you love me? Why can your mother trample on the dignity of someone you love? Yao Yao asked. Yao Yao, my mother didn't mean it that way. She's also looking out for us, Lucci explained. It's for your good, not ours. If it were Gu Qingmin today, would your mother treat her the same way? Yao Yao questioned. Lucci blurted out, Lin Lin is different, yes, she is not like me. To your mother, she is different from everyone else, the ideal daughter-in-law for her. You should be with her. Yao Yao said angrily. Brother Lucci, who are you talking to? Come and have some fruit. Gu Qinglin's voice came. Hearing Gu Qinglin's voice, I abruptly hung up the phone. When Lucci was about to graduate from university, he used his family's financial and social connections to start a construction company. Perhaps because he was short on staff initially, he pulled me in to help with the business. Gu Qinglin was aware and also took up a menial job in the sales department. She would always head to the company whenever she had no classes. The next day, I ran into Gu Qinglin again at the company. She was jesting with the sales department in the pantry. I faintly heard words about Brother Lucci, foolish fantasies, and overestimating oneself. As I approached, the voices abruptly stopped, and everyone scattered upon seeing me. Stop! I called out to Gu Qinglin. Gu Qinglin calmly asked, Yao Yao, is there something you need? Gu Qinglin, do you dare to gossip but not admit it? I questioned. Yao Yao, what are you talking about? We were just discussing that popular TV show, Gu Qinglin defended. It's the one where the female side character thinks she's Cinderella and wants to marry a rich man's son, but his parents disapprove, Gu Qinglin continued. Her enthusiasm grew, and she shrugged. It's somewhat similar to your story, Yao Yao. How you don't think we were talking about you, do you? Gu Qinglin taunted. Gu Qinglin, why are you meddling in matters that don't concern you? What does my relationship with Lucci have to do with you? I retorted. Yes, his parents may not like me, but at least I have the right to stand by his side as his girlfriend. What about you? What's your role? Friend or sister? I probed. Don't you realize you're just like a fly? Buzzing around us all the time, anyone would find it annoying, I said sarcastically. Perhaps I struck a nerve, rendering her speechless, and she could only glare at me with venom in her eyes. However, it was fleeting, as if what I had just seen was an illusion. Suddenly, she pitifully clutched at my clothes. Yao Yao, I know a girl must maintain her dignity, and it's normal for you to look down on me. But what have I done wrong? I just like Brother Lucci. Just because I like him, do you have to belittle me? Gu Qinglin feigned pity. I suddenly sensed something was amiss and turned around to see Lucci standing there, his face ashen. Yao Yao, I know my mother has been excessive, but this matter is between us two. You shouldn't take it out on Lin Lin, Lucci admonished me. And you being a woman yourself, shouldn't speak about her in such a way, Lucci continued. Speechless, I asked, Lucci, do you feel sorry for her? Do you think I'm that unreasonable? I countered. Brother Lucci, don't blame Yao Yao. It's me. I brought this upon myself, Gu Qinglin cried, sneering triumphantly from an angle only I saw. Lucci glanced at me, then soothingly embraced Gu Qinglin, half hugging her as they left. Coincidentally, Xian Ling's boyfriend, Wan Lin, was Lucci's college roommate. Initially, we dorm sisters just thought to help the student union by filling in the numbers. Unexpectedly, this casual participation blossomed into relationships. Xian Ling and I both found partners. Initially, my impression of Lucci was of a refined gentleman, gentle and polished, but that was it. However, he persisted in his pursuit of me. With him, I was never cold, hungry, or tired. He was always there to support me, even providing an umbrella on rainy days. He always prioritized me in everything, making decisions with my preferences in mind. Even though I wasn't keen on marriage before, his attitude towards me filled me with warmth and peace. Just the thought of spending a lifetime with him like this felt blissful. On a rare weekend, Xian Ling and I caught up with each other. She looked amused. Your future mother-in-law is too much. Why don't you just tell Lu Qi that the biggest hotel here is owned by your mother along with a chain in nearby cities? If you ask me, you're the one who should be signing a prenuptial agreement. I didn't intentionally keep it a secret. It just never came up at first. Mentioning it later seemed like boasting, and Lu Qi is quite proud. But you two are discussing marriage. It's bound to come up sooner or later. I originally thought he'd find out naturally when he met my mom. Anyway, let's just consider the test I've set for him. I felt helpless. Who could have predicted their attitude towards me? Life passed in a haze. Lu Qi sent numerous apologies, asking for forgiveness for his mother's harshness and for me to understand Gu Qinglin's immaturity. Whether from fear or not, he never came to see me, nor did he attempt to clarify things face to face. On the eve of National Day, a supplier unexpectedly visited our company. I assisted Lu Qi in hosting them. Due to the suddenness, it was difficult to make proper arrangements, including booking a decent hotel. At that moment, Gu Qinglin eagerly volunteered to accompany the clients. Lu Qi, both indulgent and concerned, said, "There's going to be drinking, you're too young, don't go." This comment left me feeling oddly uneasy. Fired up by his words, Gu Qinglin retorted, "Who's calling me young? I might not have eaten pork, but I've seen pigs run. I frequent nightclubs too, you know?" Indeed. Having spent every day joking around with the sales team and being immersed in such an environment from childhood, how could she be completely naive? Lu Qi acknowledged this. Once everything was set up, I called the hotel staff, employed by my mother, to reserve a spot in the restaurant and rooms, then informed Lu Qi, and we went together. Throughout the evening, we toasted repeatedly, even though Lu Qi tried his best to keep Gu Qinglin and me from drinking too much. We still ended up quite drunk. At 5 in the morning, I woke up with a splitting headache, feeling hungry and thirsty, with the room reeking of alcohol. I had unknowingly finished the water in the room. I called room service and got up to open the door to air out the smell of alcohol. Dizzy, I opened the door and saw Lu Qi across the hall, shirtless, just having opened his door as well. I stared at him, puzzled. He glanced nervously behind him, and I noticed Gu Qinglin in a disheveled bathrobe, clutching a pile of clothes, ready to leave. Seeing this scene, I suddenly understood everything. My blood seemed to freeze instantly, I forgot to breathe, and my mind went blank. Lu Qi, seemingly not expecting me to come out of my room, stood there speechless. Soon, footsteps broke the silence. "Yao Yao, I was just doing a routine inspection and thought I'd bring you some water. The meal will be ready shortly," said the familiar manager. As she approached, she realized the situation was awkward and quickly shut her mouth. I came back to my senses. "Yao Yao," I snapped. I stepped forward and slapped him, stunning him. At that moment, Gu Qinglin's shrill scream rang out. "How dare you hit Brother Lu Qi? Qin Yao, I won't forgive you." As she spoke, she grabbed at my hair, and I, not to be outdone, clawed back. The scene instantly descended into chaos. The manager held and protected me, while Lu Qi tightly held Gu Qinglin, clearly worried she might get hurt. After much effort, we were separated. I felt my neck might have been injured, and Gu Qinglin had injuries on her face. Lu Qi looked displeased. "Yao Yao, I'm sorry, but it wasn't intentional. We were too drunk yesterday. We went upstairs together, and each entered our own rooms, right? She was drunk yet precisely found her room at midnight. You were drunk yet managed to open the door for her, and both of you were drunk yet could do that? You're fooling no one. Why don't we check the surveillance to see whether you were committing a crime under the influence or so-called drunk?" Lu Qi opened his mouth to speak, but ultimately remained silent. "Qin Yao, don't go too far. You harpy." I laughed angrily. "I'm a harpy? What are you then? What's wrong with society today? Can mistresses now be so righteous? Is it that my skin is too thin, or is yours too thick? Yao Yao, don't speak like that about Lin Lin. It's all my fault. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't control myself." "Oh, great. Couldn't help yourself. Adulterer and... So you admit it, Lucci. I was wrong about you all along. We're done, Lucci. I rushed into the room before the tears could fall, ending this farce without time to think. I quickly changed my clothes and went downstairs to check out. I no longer had the heart to drive. I took a cab home and lay in bed, tears silently streaming down my face. 3 years, over 1,000 days and nights. I couldn't fathom how our love could just disappear so easily. Weren't you indifferent to your childhood sweetheart? Didn't we talk about getting married? Didn't you promise forever? Reflecting on the past 3 years, every little detail is still vivid in my mind. I force myself to move on quickly. He's not worth it. He doesn't deserve it if we must part. Let it be complete. I quickly adjusted my mood, changed into newly bought clothes, carried the new bag my mother bought for me, and left the house. How foolish I was, not daring to wear many designer clothes in front of Lucci. Never again. I don't know who tipped her off, but just as I walked into the company and hadn't even finished settling in, Lucci's mother entered. Before seeing her, I heard her shouting, "Chinyao, get out here." Sensing something was wrong, I immediately placed my resignation letter on the desk and left with my computer. As soon as his mother saw me, before I could even react to what was happening, she slapped me. "How dare you hit my son? What gives you the right to hit my son, you toad lusting after swan meat?" Probably hearing the commotion, Lucci came out of his office and quickly embraced his mother, saying, "Mom, please don't." Then he turned to comfort me. "Yao Yao, are you okay?" I apologize on behalf of my mom. She was just upset. My upbringing doesn't allow me to retaliate against an elder, but I remembered this grudge. Covering my face, I looked at him with anger. "Are you done? Good dogs don't stand in the way. Can't you see I want to leave?" I don't know what Gu Qinglin has been exaggerating to Lucci's mom. His mom looked me up and down with ill intent. "That outfit isn't cheap, is it? Spending my son's money, wearing clothes my son bought you, and still acting so arrogant, Auntie. Why don't you ask your son Lucci, other than whining and dining, what else has he bought for me?" His mother and Gu Qinglin truly belonged together. One shamelessly manipulative and the other arrogantly self-righteous. "That bag in your hand costs over 100,000. If Lucci didn't buy it for you, someone else did. Shameless. And yet you dare criticize others." "Yes, someone else did buy it for me, my mother. What about it? If someone willingly spends money on me, that's my own merit. See, Lucci, I told you, she's definitely after your money, and you're just naively laughing." Lucci looked at me incredulously. "Yao Yao, are you speaking out of anger?" Seeing him feigning heartbreak disgusted me. I had seen his true colors yesterday. I used to think his behavior was gentle. Truly, love is blind. "Do you really deserve me demeaning myself just to be angry with you?" I really should applaud Gu Qinglin for her perfectly timed appearance. She said delicately, "Auntie, don't get upset over such people. It'll only harm your own health." Watching his mother's expression change from stormy to sunny in an instant, it's a pity she's not an actress. Lin, you're here. Are you okay? Let me see. Oh, your pretty face is all messed up. Some people just have no class. It's ironic that someone who just hit another person dares talk about having class. Hearing her say this, I finally had the chance to take a good look at Gu Qinglin. She's really cunning. Her injuries are all in conspicuous places, easily seen. I regret not having been harsher. Had I known she liked to show injuries on her face, I should have made them last a lifetime. I won't disturb your deeply affectionate, melodramatic family any longer. Goodbye forever. Upon returning home, the tight string in my heart suddenly loosened, leaving me feeling empty inside. Wanting to think of nothing, I took a hot bath and went to sleep. I slept restlessly, with the past 3 years with Lucci flashing through my dreams like a fleeting glimpse. Perhaps due to the emotional ups and downs and staying in the bath too long, I inadvertently caught a cold. I didn't care to do anything about it. I just wanted to be left alone. This sleep lasted intermittently for 3 days, and after sweating it out, I finally felt much better. I didn't care whether the pillow was soaked with sweat or tears. I just threw it away. Coincidentally, Xianling called, saying she was nearby, and we agreed to have dinner together. Just as I stepped out, I ran into Lucci at the entrance of the complex. He seldom smokes, but now the ground was littered with cigarette butts and his face was unshaven, indicating he had been standing there for quite some time. Yao Yao, can we talk? Talk about what? The past or the future? The past is gone, and we have no future together. I don't think there's anything necessary to discuss. Watching him feigning depth of feeling, I felt nauseated. Yao Yao, I know I made a huge mistake, but I can't bear to lose you. Can't you give me another chance? What about Gu Qinglin? Would her parents agree to you being with me? Would your parents? Lu Qi fell silent. I thought as adults, we all understood that a relationship ends at the moment of betrayal. I really don't understand him. Is it because he's too confident or because he thinks I'm easily deceived? Sunling's voice rang out, Lu Qi, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Why should I yell forgive you, knowing you is in the wrong? He fell silent again. I got into Sunling's car to go for a big meal. I really should have read the almanac before going out today. Just finished eating only to find it's a small world after all, running into Gu Qinglin. When she saw us, she came over all high and mighty. Yao Yao is here too. I took a sip of water and didn't speak. Sun Ling silently asked who it was. I gave her a look, and she instantly understood. Gu Qinglin said sarcastically, Yao Yao, you're here too. Did you know I just called Brother Lu Qi? He said he's busy, but he'll take me out to eat something tasty when he's free. After speaking, she covered her mouth deliberately. Oh, sorry, Yao Yao. I forgot you two broke up. Xian Ling spoke up at the right moment. Yao Yao, the person who was waiting for you at the entrance to your complex for ages. That was Lu Qi, right? How come he has time to wait, but no time to dine? Yao Yao, do you smell that in this restaurant? It seems like the scent of a mistress. I've only heard about it and never really understood what it meant until today. It's just... She paused deliberately, pretending to whisper in my ear, but loud enough for them to hear. It's just too stinky, really. How can a restaurant allow someone with such a strong odor to come in? Doesn't it affect the business? After hearing this, Gu Qinglin's lips turned slightly blue. Her face instantly paled. She snorted, and like a scolded dog, she fled. Sunling and I burst out laughing, feeling as if the haze that had been hanging over us these past few days had finally lifted. I started working at our family hotel, my daily routine reduced to a single path between 2 points. I had to get familiar with grassroots operations and learn practical management, too busy to brood. Under my persuasion, my mom finally accepted Uncle Ouyang's proposal. Uncle Ouyang had long been successful in his career, and since my parents' divorce, he had always helped my mom in her work. I've always appreciated Uncle Ouyang's kindness over the years. One could say that without him, my mom and I wouldn't be where we are today. I knew it was because of me that my mom had remained single. Now that she's finally pursuing her own happiness, I'm genuinely happy for her. The wedding was held at our own hotel, and I was so busy my feet barely touched the ground. During the wedding, I accompanied my parents and Uncle Ouyang's younger brother in toasting the guests, eventually reaching a table of Uncle Ouyang's business partners. Congratulations to Director Ouyang and Director Xiao on tying the knot. May you be forever united in heart and mind. This familiar voice was Lu Qi's mother. The moment his family of 3 saw me, they stared fixedly, dumbfounded, visibly embarrassed. Uncle Ouyang and my mom also sensed something was off, but being experienced in social settings, they quickly responded, thank you, same to you. Enjoy the food, drink, and have fun. Lu Qi's parents nodded awkwardly. Later, I asked Uncle Ouyang, and it turned out that some of the import materials for Lu Qi's family business came through Uncle Ouyang's docks. Only then did my mom learn about my situation with Lu Qi. She sighed. I know the issues between your father and me have affected you, but I want to tell you, I don't regret being with your father, nor do I regret having you. Don't lose faith in marriage because of a single heartbreak. Part of the reason I'm getting married today is to show you that we can all be happy. I embrace my mom. Mom, rest assured, whether for you or for myself, I will strive to make myself happy. As for Lu Qi, although things didn't end well, it made me realize that I am worth it. For several days after the wedding, Lucci and his family loitered around our hotel entrance. My mom, worried about the impact on the guests, still pulled me to meet them once. Director Xiao, I'm really sorry. I didn't know before that Yao Yao was your daughter, and I neglected her. Hearing this affectionate address, one would think she had liked me in the past. I retorted sarcastically, Auntie, please don't say that. After all, I'm just a toad lusting after swan meat. It's only right for you and your son to treat me this way. Yao Yao. Lucci is sorry. That day, Andy didn't understand the situation and got too agitated. Why don't you hit back? She said this while tilting her head back, as if resigned to her fate. Lucci, feeling his mom was losing dignity in front of the younger generation, said, Mom, please don't. Yao Yao. My mom did it all for me. She didn't mean to hurt you. If you have to hit someone, hit me. My mom took over. Our family's values strictly forbid raising a hand to an elder. If there's nothing else, let's disperse. Everyone is busy. His mom became anxious. Director Xiao, I hope you can be magnanimous and not hold grudges. Please don't let Director Ouyang make things difficult for us at the docks, making money and having you watch my face. Only a fool would refuse such a business deal.